Operation Epic Fury.
Donald Trump shut the window blinds on Air Force One because Iran had him at the top of its target list. And then he looked straight at reporters and cracked, "If I go, you go," right? So perhaps someday you want to change professions. That one line told you everything. Trump knows the Islamic Republic plays dirty. He knows these fanatics target civilians, shipping, bases, anybody. And unlike the Obama-Biden school of apology and pallets of cash, Trump didn't beg the mullahs to calm down. He hit them hard. And last night, he warned them that he can do it again. The ceasefire game is over. And this matters because the Strait of Hormuz is not a seminar topic for washed-up think tank hacks. It's a choke point for the world economy. Iran's regime threatened to close it, harassed ships, launched missiles, and tried to blackmail the planet with oil panic and terror. And that's the stake, not abstract diplomacy, commerce, energy, American lives. And Trump said it flat out, "As far as I'm concerned, it's over." Well, good, because the old Washington scam was always the same. Barack Obama and Joe Biden treated the mullahs like misunderstood negotiating partners while the regime lied, cheated, armed proxies, and raced towards a nuclear weapon. Well, Trump called them what they are: scum, evil people, mentally disturbed people. And that blunt moral clarity matters. It tells Tehran the age of fake red lines is dead, and it tells every terrorist watching that if you choke shipping in Hormuz or target Americans, the Trump administration will not hold another briefing, write another waiver, or wire another bribe. It will break your capacity to do it again. The same ruling class that sold fake deals with Tehran, they built a Medicare confusion industrial complex right here at home. Chapter cuts right through it. Medicare is simple by design. With Chapter, one call, one advisor, under 20 minutes, no endless forms, no bureaucratic runaround. They look at your doctors, look at your prescriptions, your whole situation, then tell you the truth. No propaganda, just facts. That's how you stop getting trapped in plans designed to benefit big insurance, not you. You see, they work for you, not big insurance. And if you're already on the right plan, they'll say so. If not, they'll help you switch. It's free. And last year, people who found new plans with Chapter saved an average of $1,100. The number on your screen, give them a call, 910-728-4109. Again, that's 910-728-4109. Write it down. In a system that's built to keep you confused, that matters. When bureaucrats profit from confusion, clarity becomes self-defense. Now, one detail the panic merchants can't spin away: Trump said the U.S. still has not hit Iran at the highest level. Not the bridges, not the electric plants, not the desalination plants. And on Karg Island, he gave a surgical order: don't touch the oil, because America can destroy capacity without mindless chaos. That's not weakness. That is dominance with discipline. And I'm going to roll all the tweets because the online meltdown tells you exactly who still wants America begging the mullahs for another fake deal. President Trump on Air Force One.
Do you know they had us close our window blinds? That was not usual.
Well,
because you're, probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
So you think that Iran was possibly thinking of targeting?
Well, if they asked you to close your windows, probably they feel that way. They didn't ask me to close mine, but if they did, I would have done it. These are sick people, so I could see something like that. I didn't know they did that, but I could see something like that.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force One?
Well, I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go, right?
But was there a specific
so perhaps
threat today?
someday you want to change professions.
And that was one of my main concerns as far as President Trump going to Turkey for the NATO summit, because he is just one ballistic missile strike away from Iran. And clearly the powers that be in the Pentagon recognize that threat. And Trump made it plain the threat was serious enough to shut the blinds. And now Iran-linked messaging is turning that threat into economic blackmail with the claim the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Daily Iran News: the Strait of Hormuz is closed until the U.S. abides by the MOU. Have a nice time. Collapsing the world economy. Epstein coalition. Yeah. So after the saber rattling, even NATO is weighing in. Now, Mark Rutte says the U.S. strike on Iran was not just justified, it was necessary.
I think it was absolutely necessary because when you have a ceasefire and Iran is basically violating the ceasefire, we see what happened yesterday with ships being attacked, I think it is totally crucial that the US forcefully reacts. I also expect allies today to discuss Iran. I expect allies today to reconfirm that Iran should never, ever get its hand on a nuclear capability. And secondly, that the principle of the freedom of navigation, so the Strait of Hormuz, completely opening up again is a sine qua non, is crucial for all 32 allies.
So he says the response was necessary. Next, Trump spells out exactly why he says the regime had to hit hard.
We attacked very powerfully last night. The very dangerous people from Iran, they're sick. There's something wrong with them. We said, go and do your funeral stuff. And instead of that, they start shooting rockets at ships yesterday. And so we hit them very hard last night, very hard. I would say 20-1, 20 times tougher. And I told them every time you hit, we hit. And of course, they're dirty players, so they go after everyone, probably including me. I've been number one on their list for years. And they're a bunch of scum, you want to know the truth. They're scum. And so we don't like them. I don't like them. And they're evil people, and it's the denuclearization of Iran. And we're going to denuke it. We're not going to let them because they're crazy, and they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they go around killing people. They've killed thousands and thousands of our soldiers. They've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people. They had the roadside bomb, Soleimani. I took care of him first term. And that was a big thing because I think it probably would be a lot stronger had he been around because he was a bad guy, but he was an evil genius, but a bad guy. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. The roadside bomb is a bomb that goes on when you're driving your little vehicle around, and it goes on and you have no legs, no arms, and no face. And they've killed thousands and thousands of people. Even the SS Cole was theirs, if you remember that disaster. So I don't like them at all. And frankly, I think we waste a lot of time with them. I think we should just do our business. Can you imagine? They start shooting bombs, actually missiles at ships yesterday. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, a couple of others. And they don't. I don't think they know what the hell they're doing. But they're bad people, very bad people. I think they're incompetent, by the way. Because if they were competent, they would have made a deal a long time ago. Like, how about 47 years ago? So they've been in trouble for 47 years, and we took out their first set of leaders. We took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw things this morning. I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long because that's the way it goes. But we have great people. But these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early. Man, that's the way I feel.
Cut out cancer early. Trump says Iran fired first and got hammered. Now he goes a step further, saying as far as he's concerned, so-called ceasefire may already be finished.
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Talks won't resume after we get through the funeral proceedings. Does this mean that talks with Iran will not resume?
I don't care. They can talk, but I think they're wasting their time. They're a bunch of lying guys. I do it my whole life. That's all I do is deals. My whole life that's how I became president. I guess that's a deal too, right? But I made a lot of money. I had a lot of great success, tremendous success. Everything I did, I was successful. And I deal with these guys, and I say this is from a different school. They're liars. They're cheats. They're sick people. They've hurt their people. They killed 54,000 people as of now that were protesting. You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead. They killed them. Nobody's going to take over. They have no guns, and the other side has machine guns.
So after calling the regime liars and saying he's done wasting time, Trump turns the warning into action. He says more strikes could come.
But they launched a couple of drones and one rocket, one missile, and at ships, because they were in the Strait, which they have every right to be. And so we hit them very hard last night. Very, very. I'll probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning. We're going to hit them hard tonight.
So that wasn't vague diplomacy from the swamp crowd right after Trump warned Iran more hits were coming on the table. Reports out the IRGC officer was killed in the strikes. IRGC confirmed the death of Officer Mohammad Reza Kazani, who was killed in the strikes on the 3rd Mashir Naval Base in Khuzestan Province, Iran. Next, Trump's team lays out the target list in blunt terms. Anything used to harass shipping in the Strait is fair game.
Last night, as you said, a lot of small craft that they were trying to harass shipping with, so that was a big part of what we targeted. Underground facilities where they were storing drones or missiles, coastal defense sites, radar sites, surveillance sites, anything used to harass shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. So anything they thought they had rebuilt or capability they were using was a target last night. And tonight, if we need to, on your order, Mr. President, we will hit even more and even deeper, because that's the consequence.
And we may put down the blockade. We may put it back, the blockade. And it'll only be a blockade for Iran. Anybody else can have whatever they want. Now, of course, they'll drop some mines if they can, you know, if they can do it. But it's hard because we're taking out those little boats now with the same weapon we used to take out the drug lords and the boats coming in by sea.
So Trump just made it plain the threat was serious enough. Oh, my bad. Oh, here we go. Now Trump raises the pressure, saying the U.S. has held back from top-tier targets, but could change that fast.
Well, first of all, we took out additional, you know, they were trying to rebuild their radar, and they had about 60% built. Now they have to start all over again. Look, we're not attacking at the highest level. The highest level are the bridges, which we can knock down. I would say in one day we knocked down every single bridge in Iran. There's not a thing they can do about it. Their electric manufacturing facilities, right? Their electric plants where they make their electricity there. We will, if we have to, we'll take them out. I don't want to do that, but if we have to, we'll take them out. They have desalinization plants. We'll take them out if we have to. I hate to do that. That's probably the one I would like not to do least. We attacked Carg Island last night. We knocked out a piece. I said, don't touch the oil, because maybe we'll take over Carg Island. You know, we may take over Carg Island. There's not a thing they can do about it. But I said, don't hit the pipes. Just hit everything else. And they hit it. They may hit it again tonight. So, you know, as for your question, normally I'm not that way, but they really deserve it, because they're saying they want to make a deal, but they don't. You know, they asked for a timeout. They wanted to go to the funeral of Khomeini, and I said, give it to them. And they start shooting missiles. I mean, it was the craziest thing. Now, we did kill him, you know, so I guess you have to look at it that way, but the funeral took place, and they wanted to have a period of time. And they also asked that we not kill them. And we said, we're not going to kill you. They were worried we'd kill them during the funeral. I mean, if you can believe it. What a crazy... Did you ever think I'd be doing this for a living? Marco, did anybody ever think I'm doing... Maybe Pete, but this wasn't supposed to be for me. Pete loved this stuff from day one. But they said to us, please don't kill us during the funeral. I said, I won't. And we didn't do anything. In fact, we made it safe for them, actually. And what happens? They try and knock out two ships, a Saudi and I guess Kuwait, right? Kuwaiti? Oh, no, Qatari. In addition, really three.
Three, yes, sir.
So you had three of them. And
So Trump says bridges, power facilities, and Karg Island are options if Iran keeps testing. Next, he sums up his view of the regime: evil, sick, and long overdue for a reckoning.
But we have minesweepers, and one of the things that came up today is that European nations, the NATO group, they're sending minesweepers. We don't need them now. We have pretty much the mines that cleared up, but they'll probably drop some more. They're evil people. They're sick people. They're mentally disturbed people, and it should have been done 47 years ago.
So that's Trump unfiltered. Next, he zeroes in on Iran's nuclear material.
We've already got the nuclear material because it's so far underground, nobody's going to be able to get it except us because we have the equipment that can get it. But I call it the nuclear dust. The nuclear material is so far down underneath a mountain, and now that's been determined, that it would take massive machinery that we have that no other country has.
Mr. President, so you have no plans to go in, boots on the ground?
Why would I go in now? I'd go in when they're completely either eliminated or whatever happened, or an agreement's made.
Trump says U.S. can reach what no one else can on our timetable, but while he talks capability, Iranian state television is pushing its own show of force with missile footage aimed at U.S. Gulf bases. President Trump just needs to get in there and finish the job. And after the bluster from the media machine in Tehran, next clip shows the pro-Khomeini protest crowd and the regime's cheerleaders who want the world to believe represents humanity. Jackson Hinkle. Humanity stands with Khomeini. Unbelievable, this guy. So the peak moment here is not just the strike package. It's Trump saying in public, after Iran violated the ceasefire and attacked shipping, we hit them very hard last night, probably hit them hard again tonight. No costume diplomacy, no regime fairy tales, no John Kerry-style groveling. And then Mark Rutte, NATO's own Secretary General, had to admit the strike was absolutely necessary. So think about that. Even the international crowd that spent years flattering Tehran got cornered by reality. The Islamic Republic fired at the sea lanes, and Trump restored deterrence in hours. Barack Obama sent $1.7 billion in cash to these fanatics, and Donald Trump sends consequences. And that's the whole contrast. Cash versus force, appeasement versus order. Weak men fed this monster, and Trump is starving it. So remember that image. Window blinds shut on Air Force One because Iran's regime is dirty enough to target the commander-in-chief, and Trump still jokes with the press, then turns around and hammers the people threatening the Strait of Hormuz. That's steel. That's composure. That is command. The Islamic Republic wanted leverage. It got blasted radar sites, smashed naval capability, dead IRGC officers, and a president who said the negotiation scam is over unless it happens on America's terms. Zero sympathy for the mullahs, Zero more cash, zero more fake deals. Full support for crushing every capability they use to menace American forces in global shipping. And watch the America Last crowd now. The leaks, the sob stories, the surrender propaganda, all right on schedule. We'll let them melt down. And drop your take in the comments if you back Trump's doctrine of force, and share this with the appeaser in your family. And keep this channel close. The fight sits right on the throat of the world economy. And keep this channel on your phone, right? You're not getting the notifications. Well, we set up this number so that you can make sure you get those notifications. Thousands and thousands of patriots have already done so. They text the words raw feed to 844-840-4963, bypassing the algorithm and the active suppression of our truth. And celebrate the Next News Network and support our work by going to the merch shelf below this video.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.